Good morning, traders. I'm Emily Vani, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Tuesday, February 27th. We've returned to regular trading this morning after stocks ended ever so slightly down yesterday. All three major indices closed in the red, but basically flat. The Dow shed 62 points or 0.16%. The S&P 500 slipped about 0.4%, and the NASDAQ gave up 0.13%. Bill, let's get into today's action with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Hi, yes, good morning, Emily. I'm watching the S&Ps. We're up 0.11% this morning. It's kind of a tight trading range. Markets are really waiting on some economic data releases, and obviously the key one is that Thursday PCE report. A lot of M&A activity. FTC is pushing to block that, some mergers, and then you get that Chevron deal, which, ExxonMobil and China's CNOOC are kind of trying to thwart the merger, or at least cost Chevron additional funds in order to go through with that Hess deal. We had some nice earnings beats come out this morning. I see that President Biden's going to be meeting with congressional leaders today. We got a shutdown that could happen on March 1st, which is Friday. It's not a major event, but it could really cause a little bit of a problem for the markets if they continue to show that Congress isn't working together. I see progress is moving forward in for ceasefire talks in the Gaza Strip. The agreement seems to be for Israeli hostages in return for a ceasefire and Hamas prisoners. Hamas has lowered their demands and not requesting as many prisoners as they earlier did, which is positive. We're moving on, and we're kind of taking a look at what's going on in the other markets today, and we are seeing some gains in Europe, which is nice to see. I mean, Europe's been, you look at Germany, and the German market is trading at an all-time high right now, which is very positive. What's it doing here today? The DAX is up 113 points, 0.65%. Nice to see. FTSE has turned around. They are now trading higher, up 4 points. That's 0.06. The CAC is, also went from negative to positive. It's up 15 points or 0.2%. We're looking at Asia last night, and we see that the Asian markets did show some positive movement. I mean, I can't say much for the Nikkei. The Nikkei was up 5 points, which is like 0.01%. But Hong Kong jumped 156 points or 0.94%. And China, it was up another 1.29%. The thing about China is that the state-backed funds are pouring money in, and supposedly they've dropped 57 billion into the markets by ETFs, which is really helping them push the markets higher. Now there's a big meeting of Chinese leaders on Monday. We'll have to see what happens with that. Taking a look at oil. I mean, oil was trading higher this morning, but it has since turned negative on that peace talks news. You're looking at WTI is at $77.49 a barrel, whereas Brent's at $82.38 a barrel. And that's really what I have for you in terms of a morning market update report, Emily.
Bill, as we get into this Tuesday, I'm looking at the notes here. Truth be told, I get them ahead of the show, and I'm seeing earnings beat after earnings beat, something to be watching. Investors continue to look at earnings, and there are a lot of companies releasing this week. Maybe we're, not looking at some of the big blockbuster names that we have in the past weeks, but still lots of companies and some big names. So let's get to earnings action here. Bill, what is going on there?
Yeah, let's take a look at it. I mean, we had Workday come out last night, ticker WDAY, William David Apple Yellow. They beat by 10 cents, but it was done on lower revenue. If you look at Workday this morning, it is trading a little off. It's off by 3%. You look at Zoom Video, ticker ZM, Zebra Michael, they beat by 27 cents on higher revenue. You look at Zoom this morning, it's up 8.37%. You look at Macy's. Macy's delivered a beat of 49 cents on higher revenue, but the guidance was not great. Macy's hasn't opened up for trading yet. It looks like it's going to open up, flat to a little lower. We're looking at Lowe's, ticker LOW, Larry Oscar William. They beat by 60 cents on higher revenue. Guidance was below street estimates, and Lowe's is trading down 0.5% this morning. Upcoming earnings that are coming out today, we're seeing Massimo, ticker MASI, Michael Apple, Sam India. Their EPS is 94 cents, and the expected move is 8.97%. Then you have eBay, ticker EBAY. Their EPS is $1.03 with an expected move of 6.36%. Then tomorrow you have Baidu, ticker BIDU. Their EPS, for tomorrow morning's release is $2.75, and the expected move is 7.98%. You also have TJ Maxx tomorrow morning. Their EPS is $1.11, and the expected move is 4.69%. But that's what I have for you in terms of earnings action, Emily.
Quick note here, Workday that beat by 10 cents on slightly lower revenue. Workday was your pick of the day yesterday. And by the end of the show, we're going to see if you were able to get out of that one with a gain. So stick with us till the end of the show. Now we're going to turn to economic events. Investors are really awaiting Thursday's PCE report. But in the meantime, there are a number of reports and Fed speak to keep track of ahead of that. So they'll give us a rundown of the day's economic events.
At 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 1 hour before the market opens, we get the durable goods orders. 9 a.m. we get the Case-Shiller Home Price Index, and then at 10 a.m. we get the consumer confidence numbers. 9:05 a.m. Vice Chair of Supervision Michael Barr will be speaking. The consumer confidence is kind of a big one. It's expected to show a slight rise from the last report. You look at the Case-Shiller Home Price Index, it's expected to come in around 6% higher. Last month it was up 5.4%, so that's kind of positive. Durable goods, it's likely to come in, down 5%, which, as compared to the previous year, even a flat. So, I'm a little concerned about the durable goods orders, but everything else looks positive in terms of the economic data being released today, Emily.
And now you're also keeping track of the day's other market moving information. You're following along things like merger news. You mentioned there's a lot of M&A action going on, and you're catching all of this news because you have a NewsWare alert set up for that, and you're grabbing that as it comes in. You're also looking at things like guidance news, shareholders meetings, buyback news, other catalysts. You're able to group stocks together like your FANG stocks, your Dow 30 stocks, watching different trends on the trading day. So Bill, what else do you see as possibly moving the markets today?
I'm just taking a quick look at the overall Dow stocks picture. I got 13 higher, 13 lower, the rest unchanged. So, yeah, we'll have to see how the market opens up. Salesforce continues to run. Remember, their earnings are coming out tomorrow afternoon. You're looking at your FANG stocks. We're seeing some weakness in Apple and Amazon and Meta, but the rest are trading higher. Banks are showing some gains. Autos are showing some gains. Airlines are showing gains. Drug stocks are a little lower, mixed to lower. Semiconductors continue to run, so that's all positive, except for Nvidia, which is slightly down. Looking at some of the news behind it, like Apple. I mentioned Apple's trading lower. Attorney General Merrick Garland is said to be preparing to file a major antitrust suit against Apple in the coming days and weeks. Meta aims to reveal its a demo of its first true AR glasses at its fall developers conference. I see. In terms of Dow Jones 30 stocks, Chevron, this is the big one, CVX. ExxonMobil and the Chinese oil maker CNOOC, they're planning to increase their stake in the Guyana oil fields. Apparently this is part of the deal if Hess gets bought out. So, by them doing that, it's causing, a little bit of an issue for the deal. We'll have to see if this continues to go through. But a little bit, they can do it, so they are doing it. And anything they do to take away oil from, Chevron is good for those companies. Boeing, ticker BA, I see FAA panel said that Boeing safety efforts fall short. Listen, Boeing CEO is going to meet with the FAA today. We're going to have to wait and see what comes out of that meeting. Something on Intel. I see that chip makers are requesting over $70 billion in federal subsidies. That's twice the amount of the funding that's available. So something's off there. In terms of merger news, Albertsons, ticker ACI, the FTC is suing to block that $25 billion Kroger merger. United Steelworkers, ticker X, they signed an NDA with Nippon Steel to advance those talks. Let's talk guidance news. PubM, PUBM, Paul, Uncle, Boy, Mary, Pubmatic. They see Q1 revenue 61 to 63 million. Street estimates 58.19 million. Zoom Video, ticker ZM, they see Q1 EPS $1.18 to $1.20. Street estimates only $1.13. Norwegian Cruise Lines, that's ticker NLCS, Nancy, Larry, Charlie, Sam, they see Q1 adjusted EPS 12 cents, whereas in the street estimate was a negative 20 cents. Macy's, this is where Macy gets into trouble. Their guidance, they see Q1 adjusted guidance 10 cents to 16 cents, while the street estimates at 46 cents. That's a big downtick. In terms of shareholders meeting, HP, Helmerich and Payne is having a shareholders meeting today at 1 p.m. In terms of buyback news, Pubmatic, ticker PUBM, Paul, Uncle, Boy, Mary, there increased their share repurchasing program by 100 million. Workday authorized the repurchasing up to 500 million. In terms of catalyst calls, AEO, Apple, Edward, Oscar, that's American Eagle Outfitters, their price target. Citibank opened up a 90-day positive catalyst watch and raised their price target on the stock to 26. So yeah, that's positive. But that's what I have for you in terms of news hitting the tape this morning, Emily.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional NewsWire delivers. It is now that time of the show for the Trade Talk Pick of the Day. Bill, what do you have for us today?
Yeah, I'm going to go with TKO. This is a TKO group. This is interesting. I mean, I see some positive comments on the stock's already trading higher this morning. Earnings are out after the bell. EPS is 51 cents. Expected move is 6.62%. Yesterday's call volume, 140 calls versus 80 puts, very light. Open interest, 19,596. On the call side to 12,272 on the put side. That's positive. And the major brokers are raising price targets. They do like this. This is an interesting one. I mean, but honestly, for me to get into TKO, I mean, I got to get in. I got to get in under, low 85 area. I mean, if I can get into at 84 print, that would be optimal. But that's my pick of the day. Ticker TKO, Tom, Kilo, Oscar, which is TKO Group, Emily.
TKO ahead of their earnings out after the bell this afternoon. That was your strategy yesterday with your workday pick of the day. And coming up, we are going to do a full recap on that. So stick with us. But first, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our hot off the press segment. Bill, take it away.
I got to point out Macy's, forecast annual sales below estimates, and they're going to close 150 stores. That's not positive. Apple wins appeal after contentious Alexa grocery ordering parent trial. Macy's sees completing private brand exits this year. Viking Therapeutics, VKNG, they delivered some really strong results and guidance, and their obesity results is actually causing Lilly and Novo Nordisk to move a little lower. VKTX is up 100% this morning to $79.11. Very impressive. JP Morgan is out there saying the S&P 500 rally is at risk from a narrative shift. Okay. Ticker LUNR, Larry, Uncle, Nancy, Richard. This is Intuitive Machines. Their Odysseus mission is going to be cut short. They want to talk about Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, DLTR, David, Larry, Tom, Richard. They're going to be booking a $26.7 million fourth quarter charge after they pled guilty to a safety products case. That's all I'm seeing this morning, Emily.
Okay, Bill, before we dive into trading on this Tuesday, let's do that. Check in on yesterday's pick of the day. We mentioned a couple of times throughout the show was Workday. You did give us a look at the stock during your earnings rundown. We'll dig in here a little bit. Workday posted earnings of $1.57 per share. That was jumping 58% from a year ago. Analysts were only looking for $1.47 per share. Earnings were released after the bell. Revenue came in at $1.9 billion. That was either in line or slightly below expectations of $1.92 billion. The company said subscription revenue rose 18% to $1.8 billion, topping estimates of $1.76 billion. Workday also affirmed its subscription revenue guidance for the 2025 fiscal year. During your NewsWare alerts, Bill, you also told us that the company announced that $500 million program. Now, in after hours trading, it did take a little bit of a hit after those earnings, but Bill, you specifically said you weren't going to hang on to this one going. How did your call work out?
Hey, it made money on it. Look at the facts. Stock opened up at 308 and, it hit a high of 311.26. There's your 1%. I mean, it did close a little weaker at 307.21, which is your indication, hey, this thing may not, move higher after earnings. But when the earnings were released, the stock initially jumped $20. So, I mean, listen, WDAY was a volatile stock. We knew it going in. That's why I said you don't want to hold it into earnings. And sure enough, but you were able to get a 1% gain, $3 move during the trading day yesterday. WDAY was a winner at the end of the day. So I'll take it and walk away.
Definitely a chance for a win there, Bill. And we will check in with you tomorrow about today's TKO group pick of the day. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here tomorrow and each weekday morning at NewsWare's Trade Talk when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Bonney, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.